Hello, my people. How are you? I hope you're well. Today, as you have seen from that photo, we are making buns. These are burger buns and perfect to make from home. They're nice and full. And the recipe is very simple. So we started with some yeast, just a packet of yeast that contains about 2 tablespoons of yeast. And then I will add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then to this, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of milk. This we will add a little water after. You just want it to be about 100 degrees, 100 to 110 degrees, just the same kind of temperature that you use on regular bread. Okay, so we'll leave this to bloom. Even though it's active yeast, we'll just tie it like that and let it bloom. And then we'll start adding the flour. So we will leave it like this, all covered to bloom. And you'll notice a very thick layer when the yeast is nice and active. So do you see? It's very thick. And now we are going to add our 2 cups of bread flour. Bread flour is good because it's nice and tough and contains a lot of protein. So it's a good flour if you're going to need something for long, and it works very well. It doesn't appear too light when you've done your product or you're finished with your product. So 2 cups of the bread flour, and we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt. And later we are going to be adding some butter, 25 grams of melted butter. I will add this once I've mixed my dough and it is well done. For me, I added 1 tablespoon of milk powder. This is optional if you're using milk. I just added it because I had it on hand. And then we added that salt. And now we'll mix it for about 8 to 10 minutes. I had to add a little bit more water. So about a cup of the liquid you're using is good for this 2 cups of bread flour. So as you have seen, I added my melted butter, and it does scatter the dough a bit, but then it comes together again because when using a mixer, it's quite a strong machine. And now that it's done, I just gather it together, forming it into a ball just with one hand like that. And then I transferred it to my glass bowl, which I had sprinkled with some oil. I'll cover it with a cling foil, and I just took it out on the deck because it was a bit sunny today, and it will swell up nicely. Do you see? It's filled up the whole bowl, and you can see the air pockets in the dough. Do you see that? So it rose so well. This is a good product. And so we are going to take it back into the house, and I sprinkle my counter with some flour. And you have to knock it back. You don't have to, but I did. Yeah, I'm going to knock out the rest of the air bubbles from the surface. I'm not going to do much, but just spread it out like that. I just want 6 buns. These are just for the guys, although I plan to taste it. And so we are going to divide into 6 pieces. You can always make 8, but I just want to use the burger container that I usually have. And I'm weighing just to get them to about, to make sure that they're all about 90 to 92 grams. Okay, so that you don't have to do. You can eyeball, but if you have a scale, it's good to measure. So I'm going to roll them in my hand like that. I usually just roll in my palm and draw them back with my fingers. That kind of seems to work. So I'm going to oil this pan. It's really good for making burger buns. You can get one that's deeper, that has deeper holes, or you can get rings that make you the same size. But if you have something like this, it's really helpful for separating the buns. Although it's much later in the day because the dough had to proof, I'll still attempt to use the sun again to proof my dough. But in the end, I had to switch on the oven and just proof them from on top of it. And in between, or while I wait, I'm getting my egg wash ready. So I'm going to use just the yolk and some milk. This is because I want the burgers to brown, to have a nice golden color when they're done. So you just mix that while the buns are still proofing, and they've proofed nicely. Look at this. They're almost filling that slot. They're nice and fluffy. And so we're going to brush some of the egg mixture on them. And I didn't do a very good job of that. Make sure you cover all the exposed surface. Sometimes it's tricky because you feel like it's too light and you might puncture the dough, but it would be okay if you want to make sure that all the surfaces are nicely brown. And I had some sesame seeds on hand, and I like a lot of sesame seeds on the bun, so I added a lot of them. And so now we are ready to bake. So my oven has been preheating at 350 degrees. And so we're going to bake them to about 25 minutes. When you bake a well-proofed dough product, you find that it gets lighter, and when you knock on it, it sounds quite empty and hollow. So yeah, it will take about 20 to 25 minutes. You can check from the 20 minute mark. Trust me to want to turn the buns to the other side to brown for just a little bit longer, about 2 minutes. I just want them to be a bit darker, although this is good enough. They're nice and cooked, but I just wanted them to gather a bit more color. Okay, so now they're done. I feel like they're more darker, don't you think? Okay, so now they're done. We're going to switch off our oven and let them cool. As you can see, they're beginning to wrinkle a bit. That's a good dough product. All right, and once we've made our chicken, we're going to cut them through and see how well they look inside. So my chicken I had marinated with some yogurt, and now is the moment of truth. I cooked the chicken in the air fryer. Just want to cut and see inside. You can tell a good quality product by how airy it is, and they do smell so nice because of the sesame seeds and also because of the yeast, of course. I thought of making myself this one, but I actually toasted it too much. It was on a different setting, so it burnt a little, so I had to cut another. But in the end, I decided to just use the one because the boys are 3. They need to have 2 each. But I also wanted to taste it. It's good to have a taste if you cook something. So my sauce is ketchup and mayo. You can add other things or other sauces too, like ranch, some black pepper. But this one was just mayo and ketchup. And I cut up the chicken. It was really delicious because of the seasoning and all. I just wanted to check the next burger and also get it ready for the next guy. I'm gonna eat my BUNS burger. I do burn food a lot in this channel, don't I? And I don't have lettuce, so I'm going to use that salad mix on my burger. You can also serve it on the side. And this is how my burnt bun looks like. And I can tell you, because the sesame seeds toasted a little more, they were extra delicious. So I'm going to add sauce on both sides. Typically, when you're building a burger, you can just add sauce on the top side, and then you add some veggies or cheese or whatever you want to use, and then add your meat and cover with the bottom bun, and then turn it around if you want to put it in a container. But this, it seems I have forgotten a bit how to build a burger, but this is it. Whichever way you do it, as long as it looks appealing, then it's good. So thank you so much for watching. That's the end result. I'll see you on the next one.